Ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of respect for others, we request that all cell phones, pagers, and other electronics be switched to vibrate, thank you, or turned off during the course of this meeting. As set out in Board Operating Procedures, Section 2E, inappropriate audience participation. When a member or members of the public are disruptive, they will receive a verbal warning from the presiding officer. When a member or members of the public continue with a second infraction, the presiding officer will ask security to escort the person or persons out of the room and/or off the premises, and he, she, or they may not return during that meeting. The March 4th board meeting is called to order at 6:01. We have a quorum with Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, and myself, Patricia McLean. Trustee Lewis and Trustee Reyes have personal obligations and cannot attend this meeting. And Trustee Haggerty is running late. Trustee Dueñas will read the color guard script to prepare the audience for the presentation of colors by Riverside High School Junior ROTC.
It has become a tradition to honor our nation at each of our board meetings by presenting the colors, reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and posting the colors. The colors tonight are being presented by Junior ROTC Color Guard from Riverside High School. Yay! The Color Guard commander is Cadet Patrick Soto. The other Color Guard members are Cadet Gardea, Cadet Medrano, Cadet Darren Valdez. The pledge leader is Zed Mendez, a senior from Riverside High School. Will you please stand for the presentation of colors and the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge Allegiance, and a moment of silence. Please remain standing until the cadets have departed.
Right, hey, right, shoulder, arch, over, arch. Arch, son. Arch. Full guard. Up. Left. Eight. And eight. Colors. Beads. And arch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now join me in the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hold, arch, arch. Hold. Hold. Right. Up. Over. Three, over. Three, and arch.
Thank you. You may be seated. Dr. De La Torre, what recognitions do we have this evening?
Madam President, members of the board, with us this evening is Ms. Patricia Ayala, Director of Public Relations, to guide us through recognitions.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent De La Torre. We have several recognitions for you this evening. Trustees and Superintendent, will you please join us in front of the dais? Members of the audience, please remain seated until the recognitions are complete. Our first recognition is in honor of a group of outstanding wrestlers from Hanks High School. Several wrestlers captured gold and silver medals in individual events at the UIL 5A State Championship Tournament in Garland last month. And for the second year in a row, the Hanks girls wrestling team won the state championship for their division. First, please help us congratulate our silver medal state winner, Michael Sanchez. Now let's hear it for our Lady Knights 5A UIL State Wrestling Champions. The team members are Ana Colon, Rebecca Cordova, Giselle Escobedo, Daniela Flores, Brianna Holcomb, Adrian Holguin, and Shania Villalba. In addition, 4 of these wrestlers won individual gold or silver medals at the state. They are Rebecca Cordova, Daniela Flores, Adrian Holguin, and Shania Villalba. So, congratulations go out to the Hanks High School coach, Mr. Anthony Carter, who has been named 5A Girls Wrestling Coach of the Year by the Texas High Schools Wrestling Coaches Association. The team is accompanied by assistant coach Miguel Padilla and principal Ms. Gloria Spencer. At this time, the Hanks girls wrestling team would like to present UIL gold medals to each of our trustees, Superintendent De La Torre and Principal Gloria Spencer, in commemoration of their state championship. Photo. Don't leave. Don't leave. We need the photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You good?
If any parents would like to come up to take photos.
Everybody ready? Here we go. Let's get my big smiles right over here. 3, 2, hold it.
Keep holding. Let's hear it again for our outstanding Hanks Knights. Our next recognition is in honor of Eastwood High School senior Leonardo Sanchez, who won a silver medal in the 200-yard freestyle at the UIL 6A Swimming and Diving State Championship meet last month in Austin. Let's congratulate Leonardo. Leonardo is accompanied by his coach, Mr. Stephen Flato, and Principal, Ms. Armenia Smith. One more for the parent. Let's hear it again for our outstanding Eastwood Trooper. Our next recognition is in honor of 3 students from Eastwood and Hanks High Schools who gave outstanding performances at the UIL All-State Band and Choir competitions, then performed at the Texas Music Educators Association Convention in San Antonio. From Eastwood High School, please welcome mixed choir member Nicole Hartgrove. Nicole is accompanied by choir director Ms. Cicely Cox and principal Ms. Armenia Smith. From Hanks High School, let's hear it for flutist Maddie Strong and Madison Fanning. Students are accompanied by fine arts teacher Mr. Horacio Gomez and principal Ms. Gloria Spencer. Gonna have to keep smiling a long time. Let's hear it once again for these outstanding musicians. Our proclamation this evening is in honor of our Autism Awareness Month. The proclamation reads, whereas autism is the fastest growing serious developmental disability in the world, and this condition knows no racial, ethnic, or social boundaries, and is 4 times more prevalent in boys than girls. Therefore, we, the Board of Trustees of the Ysleta Independent School District, join the federal government in proclaiming the month of April 2015 as Autism Awareness Month. Proclamation adopted this, the 4th day of March 2015. Here to accept the proclamation is Bel Air High School special education teacher, Mr. Agustin Cordova. Our final recognition this evening is for our Partner of the Month Award as part of our Partners in Education program. When a recent renovation project resulted in a surplus of classroom equipment and furniture, this partner worked diligently to find local schools that would benefit from these items. With the assistance of former Ysleta I.S.D. parent, Sofia Gonzalez Garcia, who works as a branch manager at Security Service Federal Credit Union, this partner ended up donating desktop computers, projectors, screens, and DVD players to North Loop and Scottsdale Elementary Schools, as well as Bel Air High School. This donation is valued at nearly $130,000. In addition, this partner has contributed to Vista Hills Elementary School, Parkland Middle School, and Parkland High School. We're extremely thankful for these donations and this partner's support of our students and staff. The Partner in Education of the Month Award for March goes to the U.S. Sergeant Major Academy. Here to represent the U.S. Sergeant Major Academy is Command Sergeant Major Dennis E. DeFries. Sergeant Major is also accompanied by Mrs. DeFries. In addition, he's accompanied by North Loop Elementary School Principal, Ms. Denise Jones, and Scottsdale Elementary School Principal, Ms. Beth Harbison. Let's hear once again for the U.S. Sergeant Major Academy. Thank you. This concludes our recognitions for this evening.
Shane.
Another medal.
Hey, we won 2 of those, and I thought, well, I was going to so 3.
Okay. Moving on. Mr. Pearson, do we have requests for citizen input?
No, we do not.
Thank you. During the March 2nd Agenda Review Workshop, consent item number 1 was pulled for discussion. Are there any other consent items you would like to discuss or any further discussion on the order of this agenda? May I please have a motion on the revised order of this agenda?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Woodruff.
I move to approve the revised order of the
March 4th.
March 4th agenda. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Dr. La Torre, does the administration have a recommendation on this order of the agenda?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, the administration recommends approval of the order of the agenda for March 4th as recommended.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on February the 18th and special meetings and/or workshops on February 3rd, 16th, 17th, and 17th, 2015. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on the minutes as presented?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Woodruff.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on February 18th and special meetings and/or workshops on February 3rd, 16, and 17, 2015.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Dr. La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, the administration recommends the minutes for the regular board meeting on February 18th and special meetings and/or workshops on February 3rd, 16th, and 17th, 2015.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Dr. De La Torre, we're ready for your report, sir.
Madam President, members of the board, esteemed guests, last Friday we were honored to hold the annual State of the District address in our central office atrium that was attended by approximately 300 community, school, and business leaders. It covered highlights and successes in 2014, as well as the challenges facing the district in regard to our declining enrollment and deteriorating facilities. We also unveiled and distributed our 2014 annual report at the conclusion of the event. Annual reports will be sent to campuses for distribution to key stakeholders. Over the past 2 weeks, I have visited our schools and various community centers to inform faculty, staff, and the community about plans to reinvent and re-energize the Ysleta Independent School District. Those plans include proposed projects in our preliminary facilities master plan that was approved by the board in February. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to address our employees and the community, and I will continue to work toward increasing awareness of our needs in regard to school facilities. Later this month, we plan to hold our annual in the Ysleta Room to honor the 63 campus Teachers of the Year for the 2015-16 school year as selected by their individual schools. The Top 10 Teacher of the Year reception takes place from 4:30 to 6 on Friday, March 20th, and includes a small ceremony with principals, the Board of Trustees, and myself. At this event, the top 10 Teachers of the Year for the district will be announced. Our district will announce the top Teachers of the Year for elementary school level and secondary school level at our employee recognition banquet in May. A list of all 63 campus Teachers of the Year is available on our website at YISD.net. And finally, I'd like to remind everyone that our district will be closed next week for spring break. We'd like to wish everyone a safe and restful break, and we look forward to continuing the momentum of the school year upon our return on March 16th. Thank you, and that concludes the report. Thank
you, sir. And according to policy BE, local board meetings requires an annual announcement of trustee ad valorem tax payment status in March each year. The board president, based on information provided by the superintendent or designee and obtained from the tax assessor collector for the district, shall announce as to each trustee whether the trustee is current on all or delinquent on any ad valorem taxes attributable to property located within the district, as well as any amount of such delinquency. Patricia McLean, current. Paul Pearson, current. Marty Reyes, current. Ana Dueñas, payments being made with the amount of $935.29 delinquent. Shane Haggerty, current. Debbie Lewis, current. Connie Woodruff, current. The president can recognize any trustee who wishes to provide explanatory remarks regarding the trustee's respective payment status.
Yes.
Ms. Dueñas?
I have an announcement, and it's to my constituents. The past year and a half since my election to YISD Board of Trustees has been difficult times for me because of the high visibility, sometimes controversial and administrative nature of this volunteer board work. I have had difficulties with my paying job. My employers do not want to hire people who are in the position that I am in. As the result, I have had to make ends meet by working at jobs that are sometimes low-paying or part-time. This left me in a position that often find people that many people often find themselves trying to make tax payments on their homes. I have been able to work out this issue by making payment arrangements through the taxpayer's office. This has not been good enough for the majority of the board since they have put into place a policy to embarrass me. It is unfortunate that even the best effort to do the right thing and make payments on my taxes has not stopped certain members of YISD board from trying to humiliate me. This hard times, many people struggle to pay their bills and including property taxes. Instead of the political tactics used against me, I believe I should be used as a good example of a person working through hard times and coming up with legal and honorable way to meet responsibility to my taxes. I hope that all the hardworking citizens of YISD School District recognize the unfair way that I have been treated and know that, like them, I am doing everything in my power to work for the students and employees of YISD through my service on the board and paying my taxes. Although I have suffered through many intimidation, harassments, threats of doing the best of removing me from the board position, this is because I do not agree with the majority of the board on what they want or vote against what they want, like the bond. I will still continue to work in the best interest of the district. However, if this threats from the majority of the board continues, I will take legal action. Mrs. McLean, you didn't call me to talk to me about this. As usual, I did get a call from Dr. De La Torre. This is very unprofessional. As a president, your obligation is to contact me. And as usual, you put everything into the agenda instead of coming forward as a president and bringing things to this issue. You just do things and put into it as a policy. We're supposed to discuss it, and you never do. But like I said, I will take legal actions.
That board
Because
policy
there
was
is an
passed.
agreement, there is an agreement.
That board policy was passed by the majority of the board.
Exactly, but my rights are to take legal action also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it is the right of the public to be informed, whether they're elected officials whom we are responsible for setting the tax rate for, and to spend the money that comes in with the taxes judiciously. I think it is, very important that the community know that we've paid our taxes when we're asking them to pay taxes.
Exactly, but there is an agreement. It's not like they are delinquent and I have not paid on them.
And that was mentioned, Mrs. Dueñas. Ms. Dueñas.
No, it wasn't, just for the record.
Yes, ma'am. The order of the agenda has been approved, but are there any other consent items you wish to discuss? If
Yes,
not-
I do have something. There were some policies here, but Mr. Safi, on this, some of these are Ms.
Have
Dueñas,
right now we're discussing the consent agenda. We're not at the policy section yet.
But some of these are pre-policies.
The consent agenda does not have any policies.
I've read on some of them, and it does say pre-policy.
Okay. Can you tell me which one you're referring to?
Let me see.
We had the proclamation, we had the financial statements, we had the surplus inventory, we had the low attendance waiver, we had instructional materials, we had a contract, we had the statement of impact, we had a board resolution, we had another contract, and another contract.
I know one of them is
that-
number 5.
Number 5 is instructional materials. That's not a policy, Ms. Dueñas.
It does have something in the policies. That's why I was wondering if within the policy, it was on some of these policies that we're doing, is it just the majority that are getting some of the feedback on this about having, like on this one that I put pre-policy that I had seen on there that I read? And apparently, on the pre-policies, do we get to even ask before, or it's just coming to us, just like putting it on the agenda instead of discussing? And the reason why I'm letting you know is counsel and advisor for the board. I'm just wondering it, since the majority of the board won't tell us until it comes to the agenda and expect for us to vote and decide decisions on this.
Ms. Dueñas, you've had the board book since last Wednesday with the information in it.
Exactly, but we didn't have Mr. Safi on Monday's meeting.
He was available for you via phone.
It doesn't matter, we've got him here, and it's on record.
Go ahead, ma'am.
It's
Go ahead.
on record.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Might I respond, Ms. McLean?
Sure, Mr. Safi, go ahead.
Trustees, Dr. Torres, Ms. Dueñas, the backup for Agenda Item 5, which is relating to the instructional materials, and it lists the instructional materials that are being recommended for approval by the board, by the administration. The only reference I see there to a policy or regulation is EFAA-R, which is a regulation, an administrative regulation. The EFAA policy code deals with adoption and approval of instructional materials. And pursuant to that policy in the regulation, it sets out the procedures that the administration will utilize to look at the available instructional materials that have been pre-approved by TEA, and then recommend to the board ones for actual use in the district. And that is the reference to EFAA-R. It explains the procedure that's been used by administration to make this recommendation to the board regarding the use, the approval for the use of these instructional materials.
Okay.
So there was no changes to the policy, Ms. Dueñas?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. This does not involve any revision to any existing policy.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay. May I please have a motion on the remaining consent agenda items listed on this agenda?
Madam President,
Mr. Pearson.
I move to approve the remaining consent agenda items as recommended by the administration.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Woodruff. All in favor?
Okay, cool.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Haggerty, did you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. We will now address the items pulled off the consent agenda. Consider and take possible action to approve a proclamation for April as Autism Awareness Month. Is there any discussion? This item was pulled by Trustee Haggerty.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggerty.
I just wanted to thank the board for approving this resolution, this proclamation. This is something I've been working on with Mrs. Susanna Burford and Mr. Tim Collins. They helped me write the resolution, and we keep revising it every year because the numbers keep changing, and it seems like the numbers keep going up. But Ysleta continues to do such a fantastic job with all its autistic and all of its special ed, for that matter, population, that we draw in special ed population from all over the city. But autism in particular is so large, and there's so many different types of autism that fit this wide spectrum, to the point where even Bill Gates has a form of autism, that I feel it is important, and we do take the time to recognize the efforts of everyone in the district who's been working so hard. And again, I thank you all for helping me get this passed.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggard.
I move to approve proclamation for April as Autism Awareness Month.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Woodruff and Ms. Dueñas. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam President, the administration recommends approval of a proclamation for April as Autism Awareness Month.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The Board of Trustees has determined that a closed meeting of the Board of Trustees is required to discuss the item set forth in the posted agenda for this date. Such closed meeting is authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.001, including but not limited to the sections and purposes covered by the following section of the Texas Government Code 551.071, 72, 73, 74, 76, 82, 821, 83, and 84. Should any final action, decision, or vote be required with regard to any matter considered in closed session, the final action shall be in the open meeting or at a subsequent public meeting with notice. The board will now move to the Rio Grande Room for closed session. I reconvene this meeting with the following present: Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, and myself, Patricia McLean. We will now address the posted agenda, action agenda item. Action item number 1, consider and take possible action on recommendations regarding lawsuit styled Lorena Diaz de Leon versus Ysleta I.S.D., cause number 2013 DCB-1675 in the County Court at Law number 5, El Paso County, Texas, as discussed in closed session. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 1?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Pearson.
I move to accept recommendations discussed in closed session regarding lawsuit styled Lorena Diaz de Leon versus Ysleta I.S.D., cause number 20-DCB-1675 in the County Court at Law number 5, El Paso County, Texas.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Ms. Woodruff. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, the administration supports the recommendation discussed in closed session regarding lawsuit style Lorena Diaz de Leon versus the Ysleta Independent School District, cause number 2013 DCV-1675 in the County Court at Law number 5, El Paso County, Texas.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Me. Motion carries 4-1. Is there any other discussion or comments? May I please have a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
Marty's not here.